All right, 0654, summer 19, question paper 4.1, final physics question number 12. Again, familiar from our mock, but let's have a look. We're being asked to name two energy resources which do not have the sun as a source of energy. Okay, now let's, there's three choices here. You can see it on the mark scheme. You've got geothermal, you've got tidal, and then we'll just write number 3 here, which is nuclear. Okay, and what I really want to do is say why these aren't to do with the sun. Okay, so first thing, geothermal energy really comes from the earth. Energy has to come from somewhere. Geothermal energy is stuff which is hidden in the earth's core. We heat the water underneath there, and that causes those geysers to form, causes the emission of water at high temperatures. Okay, so if you thought about thermal baths or anything like that, key point here being geo. Okay, geothermal energy from the earth. Tidal, well, actually, this is by the moon. Okay, you could make an argument that the sun has an effect on this, but what you should be aware of is that during the day, as the earth rotates, it will be facing towards or away from the moon, and therefore it pulls the water in, the moon pulls the water in different directions. Remember, the moon has a gravitational field, not massively strong, okay, however, it is enough to affect the water on the Earth's surface. So really it's the moon which is controlling the tides. Okay, last one, nuclear. Okay, well really this is from atoms. Okay, all atoms have energy. Okay, you may have heard of E equal mc squared. Well, the mass of that atom has energy, E, mass m, energy E, and they're linked together through that equation. So really nuclear energy, anything to do with nuclear stuff, is really the energy which is stored in our nuclei or inside our atoms. Okay. We're looking at our temperature in the tire is increasing and the fact that the pressure increases. First things first, pay attention to keywords here. Explain in terms of molecules the effect on the pressure. Okay, we need to describe the effect of the pressure and then expect the effect on the pressure, and then explain it. But you've got to use the word molecules. If you don't use the word molecules, then you're risking losing marks here. We know that at higher temperatures we have things moving faster. We have molecules moving faster and therefore having more energy. Okay, and therefore the molecules collide with the walls more often, increasing the pressure. Okay, key that you include an idea about what happens to the pressure. You could also talk about the fact that each collision has a greater force. Yeah, you could have the fact that each collision has a greater force, and they happen more often, more forces, higher force, therefore a greater total pressure. Okay, let's go through. All right, simple here. We have our golf cart, and we are being asked what would happen if I raised my center of mass somewhere up to here. Yeah, on the stability, the cart would become less stable. I was a bit horrible to when I marked this question before, and maybe I wouldn't be so much this time. However, please try to use the terms that we are used to. You need to talk about stability here. If you talk about the car will fall over or the car will be blown over, it is the answer, okay? And you probably get away with it, but please refer to what they are asking. They're asking about stability, you should talk about stability. Obviously, if it falls over, that means it's become unstable, but that is something which you need to be clear on, okay? Please use the words that they are referring to. Then asked to, we're looking at a camera, okay? We're using a thin converging lens to focus light onto the light sensor, and we're completing the ray diagram. Again, the number of people who don't do this question is amazing. This is a 1 mark for simply drawing some lines, okay? You should be remembering that these lines should focus. You are free to draw a line in the middle here to guide you, okay? These lines should be straight. You must use a ruler, okay? I cannot emphasize that enough. I have seen students in the past draw a wobbly line here. That does not count because light does not travel in wobbly lines. All right, we're really into the territory where we're just finishing things off, right? We're getting 1 mark here for stability, 1 mark here for drawing, 1 mark here for a definition. And again, pay attention. The question tells you how to do it. Okay, define the refractive index in terms of the speed of light in vacuum and in a glass. Okay, you must use those 2 things in here. You must use the speed of light in a vacuum, and you must use the speed of light in a glass here. Hopefully you're coming up with this equation, n equal to c over v, where c is our speed of light in a vacuum and v is the speed of light in a glass. N, just looking at my equation, n is the ratio of the speed of light in a vacuum to the speed of light in glass. Done. Okay, use the equations to guide your definition and use the facts given in the question as well. Last 2, just to finish this off. Okay, let's bring it down a little bit. Okay, image produced by the lens on the light sensor is a real image. Describe the difference between a real image and a virtual image. When we had our real images, the idea is that light is meeting. Okay, as long as the light meets together, we're going to see it, and what it would do is it would form on a screen. Okay, the lines meet each other. Virtual images don't show up on a screen, and the example that's a really good one to use is using a magnifying glass. A magnifying glass forms a virtual image. That virtual image is much bigger than what you're actually looking at. If you're looking at something very small underneath a magnifying glass, it's virtual, it's big. It's not really the size of the thing that you're looking at. However, you need your eye in order to focus those lines. Your eye builds that image from what it's seen, from the assumption that light travels in straight lines. Okay? If you were simply to put a screen behind the magnifying glass, you wouldn't see anything. Okay, so real images form on a screen due to the convergence of the light. However, virtual images are ones which require an additional lens to focus again, i.e. the lens in your eye, and so therefore they wouldn't form on a screen if we just simply put one there. Last one, okay, describe in terms of the forces why the atoms in a solid have a fixed shape. Again, we're just tidying up, trying to figure out facts. You should be aware that our solids are have fixed shapes, fixed volume, and that's because those particles are close together and therefore they have strong forces.